Hello everyone. Hope you enjoy this video. I bought a house a couple of years ago. Literally everything scares me now. It's raining? Probably gonna flood the basement. Windy? Trees gonna fall on the house. Weird smell? Probably an electrical fire. Leave the house for literally 5 minutes? Obviously going to explode due to a gas leak. Signs of aging. When you're a kid, getting older means new and exciting changes. When you're in your 30s plus, it means far less fun things. Traveling in a car, especially if I'm not the one driving. 7-year-old me, man, it's amazing how many adults are smart enough to run hundreds of cars around the city going super fast and not hit each other. Adult me, jumping down from a height greater than a few feet. As a kid I could jump off a roof and roll with it. Nowadays if I land funny I fear I'll be paralyzed for life. I remember challenging friends at school to see how many stairs we could jump down. The thought fills me with dread now. Imagine landing with your heel on the last step, or your knee going sideways, a tooth falling out. As a kid it was gross, funny and painful all at once. As an adult, horrifying. Head injuries. As a kid, I thought broken bones were the big thing to worry about, because I could visualize what that was. I had no sense for the severity of brain injuries. As an adult, protecting my noggin is my #1 injury concern, because the human machine don't work with a damaged processor. Getting out of bed in the morning after you slept in the wrong position. Lack of time. As a kid, felt like I had all the time in the world. As an adult, I feel like I have no time to do anything other than work. Roller coasters. I used to ride them all summer long because I had a Six Flags summer pass. I went a few years ago with my younger sister. It wasn't fun anymore. I just kept feeling like I was going to die. I ended up holding purses, and keeping my feet on the ground. I never understood why my mum would just wait for me. But I get it now. I had no fear of U-Hauls until I rented a U-Haul. I filled out all of my information online and they gave me the keys to a 27-foot box truck. No training. No anything. They'll just let anyone take these massive vehicles and drive them off the lot. Give them a wide berth, butterflies. I don't get it either. Oh, and teenagers. Honestly, death. Never really thought about it as a kid. Think about it way too much as an adult. Edit. Weirdly comforting to see I'm not the only one. Thank you for the awards. I hope you figure out how to get past the fear of what is inevitable as well. Owning a home. I am only slightly exaggerating when I say that I wake up every day fully expecting some new and expensive catastrophe to unfold. Anesthesia. As a kid, I was led to believe that it was something magical that happened to you when you got your tonsils out, and then afterwards, you could eat all the ice cream you wanted. Now that I've had it as an adult and know that there's always a possibility it could go horribly wrong, I get really antsy and scared just thinking about it. Shit, I'm a doctor and I avoid the hospital at all costs. Luckily I could do a lot of the repairs myself, but I almost tore my brother a new one when he went to the ER for stitches. Ridiculously overpriced. I should say as well. Let's say you go to the ER for stitches. Your bill will probably be $1,500. You know how much the staff who actually cared for you will see of that? Probably about $300 split between all the providers you come face to face with. It's bananas. I was the most outgoing kid ever. I'd just go straight to the playground and blurt out to the first person I met, "Hey, wanna be friends?" I was loud, energetic, social and pretty much had no fears at all. I can't believe how I used to be that outgoing as a child, only to grow up anxious of life itself. WTF happened along the way. Deep water. I learnt to swim in it by essentially jumping into a pool on holiday as all the other kids were in the pool and didn't want to be left out. Now for some reason, if I'm in water and it reaches my chest I'm struck by an absolute rising sense of dread. My breathing gets shallow and I feel so uneasy and upset I have to get into shallower water to be calm again. I was crazy on bicycles when I was a kid. I'd jump anything, anywhere, on a little tiny bike, crashing spectacularly like we all did in the 70s. Now, I have a bike with suspension that rivals a motocross bike, and this very bike can handle obstacles that off-road trucks might have issues with. And I ride around never leaving the earth, with a helmet, and enough other stuff on I can literally play football. Financial emergency 100%. When you're a kid you don't think about things like this. You could be off of work due to injury for 2 months and lose everything you worked hard for even if you were doing everything right financially. The final realization that the path you're on, career, wife, skills, friends, will be the one you travel until retirement. It's like welp. Only 30 years to go. This is my life now. Phone calls. I used to call people all the time as a kid. Now I'm terrified of them and get anxiety attacks every time I have to call a non-family member. I'm slowly learning to manage by writing everything down I want to say so I don't go blank. The fact that our leaders don't really know what they are doing and that they use their position for self-benefit, bills. I didn't know what they were when I was a kid, but now whenever I hear the word, I shudder. One-syllable names freak me the fuck out. Reply, children, or frankly anyone for whom I bear responsibility, doing dangerous stuff of any type. Stop having fun you little shits. It isn't worth it. I knew a few kids that liked to have fun. A bunch of them are dead and a couple are paralyzed. Basically my risk-reward calculus has moved far into the it isn't worth it range. Taxes. Adulting in general. When I was young, I was excited to grow up and live independently and have a job and car and do things adults do. Now I know why kids have more carefree attitudes. Because they are so much more free of cares. I was never afraid of huge lorries, concrete traffic barriers, or bridges when I was young. But once I started driving, those things started making me incredibly nervous. Especially bridges. One time I had to drive across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge and I literally cried the whole way there and the whole way back. This was only a year ago and I'm 33 years old. Serial killers. They're everywhere and crafty, and all seems well until they have you right where they want you. As a kid, it never really entered my mind much that people can be so evil. Being stalked. Never gave a second thought about and thought it was cool to have someone like you that much. Now it's my absolute worst fear. Along with getting in trouble with the law, and police officers. Choices dude. It's okay to mess up, especially when you're young. Make those mistakes early, just nothing that'll screw up your life. Go and do things. Falling behind in career, grades. In my youth there was always more time to clean up my act if things went badly. Now it feels like if I fall behind, I'll never catch up. Walking around in bare feet. I wear boots at work so I'm used to feeling protected. If I have nothing on I'm always worried about getting jabbed in the sole with something. Edit, last night I was walking through the house with socks on in the dark. My roommate's dogs were chewing on bones which splintered. Stepped on them and the shit felt worse than Legos, people. Or how brutal people can be. I've seen stabbings, shootings, rapes, and others. And while I've matured quite a bit because of it, a lot of people my age still have that innocent mindset in a way. Cancer, losing my mind. My grandfather had dementia and my grandmother had Alzheimer's. They both went through their respective illnesses at the exact same time and to watch them slowly lose themselves was so depressing. I'm not too worried about what happens to my body, I just don't want to lose my mind. I don't want to forget losing my mind. My grandfather had dementia and my grandmother had Alzheimer's. They both went through their respective illnesses at the exact same time and to watch them slowly lose themselves was so depressing. I'm not too worried about what happens to my body, I just don't want to lose my mind. I don't want to forget, I took my kids to a sledding hill last week for the first time. We climbed to the top, got in the sled. I looked down that hill and realized I was terrified to go down it. No fears whatsoever as a child. I made my son go first, and he loved it, of course. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Please. For me.